So recently, there were nude pictures of Melania Trump in the New York Post. Now, that's a non-story because progressives, independents don't really care that she took nude pictures. She was a model. Who cares? But what was interesting about the story was that it was in the New York Post. That's a Murdoch-owned media organization that is very, very friendly to Donald Trump. So there were significant reports that Donald Trump had himself leaked pictures of his wife to distract from his political problems, and partly because he wanted to brag about it and thought that might get him more votes. What a dunderhead, okay, to say the least. So, okay, that was a fun, cute little story. And then, but someone noticed, wait a minute, these pictures were taken in New York in 1995. But in all the stories of how Melania Trump immigrated to the United States, she talks about how she came in 1996 with a visa. Uh-oh. So they started investigating this a little bit more. Is she a legal immigrant? Let's go to a political story with some very interesting facts here. While Melania Trump, and her husband, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump, have said she came to the United States legally, her own statement suggests she first came to the country on a short-term visa that would not have authorized her to work as a model. Okay, I'm going to get into the details of that visa in a second. Let's keep going. Trump has also said she came to New York in 1996, but the nude photo shoot placed her in the United States in 1995, as does a biography published in February by Slovenian journalists. Now, let's go to Melania Trump's explanation of what kind of visa she got and how she played this by the book. Now, she said this many times before this controversy arose. She had said at the time, "It never crossed my mind to stay here without papers. That is just a person you are. You follow the rules. You follow the law. Every few months, you need to fly back to Europe and stamp your visa. After a few visas, I applied for a green card, and I got in 2001. Now, wait a minute. The kind of visa where you would have to fly back and get it stamped is not the kind of visa that allows you to work inside the United States. The kind of visa that allows you to work inside the United States is not one where you have to go back and get it stamped. That's strange, but here you were clearly working inside the United States. So let's dig in further. An H-1B visa can be valid for 3 years and can be extended up to 6 years, sometimes longer. That's the one that allows you to work here, and would not require renewals in Europe every few months. If, as she has said, Melania Trump came to New York in 1996 and obtained a green card in 2001, she likely would not have had to return to Europe even once to renew an H-1B. Oops. Okay. Instead, Trump's depiction of her periodic renewals in Europe, Politico further explains, are more consistent with someone traveling on a B-1 temporary business visitor or a B-2 tourist visa, which typically lasts only up to 6 months and do not permit employment. So which one was it? They can answer it. They can show the visas. They can do a lot of things here to clarify this. If it was an H-1B, you don't have to go back, and great. You could have worked here. You did it legally. If it was a B-1 or a B-2, oops, you weren't supposed to work here. Now, does that have ramifications? The answer is yes. So they explain here, if someone were to enter the United States on one of those visas with the intention of working, it could constitute visa fraud, according to Andrew Greenfield, a partner at the Washington office of Fragman, Del Rey, Bernstein, and Lowy, a firm that specializes in immigration law. Visa fraud. And what would that do? Well, visa fraud would call into question a green card application and subsequent citizenship application, said immigration lawyers, thus raising questions about Melania Trump's legal status, even today, despite her marriage to a U.S. citizen. Uh-oh. She might be an illegal. You got to send her back. It looks like she did not get the visa in the correct legal way. Now, if you say, hey, that's no big deal, okay, I hear you, brother. Some people come on a tourist visa and they wind up getting a job here and nobody pays attention. But that's not what Donald Trump says. Donald Trump says, we got to keep the damn immigrants out. You have to do it the legal way. If you don't, you got to go back. We got to build a wall. We got to build a wall. Turns out he's got to build a wall inside his own house. Now, That is in general what he says about immigration, because I'm not running a campaign based on hating immigrants. Donald Trump is. Sometimes they're criminals and they're rapists. Well, visa fraud actually would be criminal, so maybe he's got a point. But it's even more specific than that. If the only way she could have had a legal visa to work here is the H-1B visa, Donald Trump has spoken about H-1B visas specifically. So let's hear him out on that. He says he would, quote, end forever the use of the H-1B as a cheap labor program and institute an absolute requirement to hire American workers first for every visa and immigration program. No exceptions. Oh, that's such a shame. If she doesn't have an H-1B, she was committing visa fraud. She is not an American citizen. Got to build a wall inside the Trump house. If she does have an H-1B, he says no exceptions. That should not be allowed to happen. If we are going to have naked models inside this country, they need to be American. Okay? We can't have these Slovenians coming in here taking good, hardworking American jobs like naked modeling. The idiot probably leaked these himself, and now they're in a world of trouble. His whole campaign is premised on we got to keep the immigrants out, the illegal immigrants out. His wife, it looks like, is an illegal immigrant. Now, listen to her answer. Of course, she's going to deny this, but listen to the specifics. She now says, in recent days, there's been a lot of inaccurate reporting and misinformation concerning my immigration status back in 1996. Let me set the record straight. Okay, great. I'm looking forward to it. She says, I have at all times been in full compliance with the immigration laws of this country, period. Any allegation of the country is simply untrue. No, wait a minute. That doesn't explain anything. You just said the word period. Which one was it? Was it an H-1B visa? Was it a B-1? Was it a B-2? Is it other possible visas? Which one was it? You didn't explain anything. That's because she can't explain it. They're in a world of trouble. Send her back. Hashtag send her back. Okay? Look, you know what? We got to send her back until we figure out what's going on. We got a problem in this country. We got illegal immigrants. It's a problem in this country. I know because Donald Trump told me. We got to send her back until we figure it out. We got to figure it out. Now, you can think that's a fun little story, right? But if you're a conservative, remember, they voted for Donald Trump, not based on anything else. He doesn't agree with Republican orthodoxy on so many of these things. He attacked the Republicans on the Iraq War, and the list goes on and on. One of the main reasons they liked him was he is going to take a stance on these illegal immigrants breaking the rules, breaking the laws, and coming here the wrong way. It turns out there's one in his house, in his bed, right next to him. It's his wife. He will have no credibility whatsoever if he doesn't send her back.